these are very basic points that in the middle of everything else, because itna sab kuch ho raha hota hai, we tend to forget or just miss out on, or we just leave it for the last moment ki yaar tab kar lenge. But these things, as basic as they might sound, still tend to happen. Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. In order to help you international students, whoever is coming to the UK, or if you've just arrived in the UK for your January intake, I hope this video helps you in any way. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started with the video. Now I know moving to a different country with everything, like your entire life packed in just 2 or 3 suitcases, is overwhelming. It definitely is, and it is completely normal. You're basically stepping into another world and building your world from scratch. It is not easy. So if you are one of those people who've decided to build that life, hats off to you, honestly, and I wish you all the very best for your new life. I've tried my best to make this as simple as possible, but it's going to be a lot of information, and this video is going to be a very long video for sure. But I've tried to incorporate each and every point that was useful for me personally when I first came here, and I thought I should have known before I moved here. So I've mainly categorized this video into 3 sections. It's before you're coming, what all you need to take care of, while you're traveling, and the third is after you arrive, of course. So when you apply for your visa, you usually get like a SIM card from the VFS office as well. Make sure you keep that handy and read all the instructions on it. You could also buy a SIM card at the airport once you reach, or even if you're flying from India to the UK, you can get SIM cards at the Indian airport as well. However, I would not suggest you to get a SIM card from the airport. Rather, get it from a local store or like corner shops. Those are much cheaper, but it's your call. I did get a SIM card before I arrived, so at the visa office I got a SIM card there. So I basically ended up with five SIM cards, but that's gonna be a story for like some other time. Before you travel, also make sure to have photocopies of your documents. Those are going to be your school, college transcripts, your recommendation letter, passport photocopy of your visa. Make sure you make enough copies of those. That's what I did. Like, so suitcases tend to get lost, and it's quite normal, and not lost per se, but there can be a delay in your suitcases, or they just misplace it. It might be on another flight or something. Just keeping those things in mind. Make sure you have your original documents with you in your hand luggage that you're going to be carrying, and the photocopies. So when I arrived, I had like 2 suitcases, so I had 2 sets of photocopies in each of those suitcases, and the original ones in my hand luggage. So make sure you do that. Also, before traveling, make sure you have your credit card that's going to be active, working, that has basically international settings turned on. Make sure you have the cash you need in that specific country, so get that changed before you travel. Or you can also have forex cards. Easily issue ho jata hai. You just need your passport and your visa and just fill in the form. Everything's pretty easy, but make sure you don't keep these things for the last moment. So this thing happened with me, that I applied for my forex before coming here, right? And that guy was like, okay, it's gonna get activated and stuff like that. I did not get anything, and I could not get the forex card to work. So if I would have only relied on my forex card, वो मेरे किसी काम के नहीं आता basically. So make sure you have a cash in the local currency. Make sure you have your debit card or credit card or forex card settings all sorted before you travel, because काफ़ी जगह cash नहीं भी accept करते हैं, तो काफ़ी जगह सिर्फ cards चलते हैं. So make sure you have a bit of both basically. Make sure you have like a good power bank, honestly. We tend to scroll a lot on our phones, right? And airport time पे, plane में in fact बहुत time होता है, and we're like, oh, क्या करें? We're getting bored scrolling on your phone, and then you realize, oops, there's no battery left. I know people carry chargers and people do carry power banks, but it is still a very common habit to forget these basic things. And you're going to a different country, you don't really want to get stuck and lost in a different country altogether, because you are overwhelmed, right? And uske upar se ye sare factors aur aa gaye, you're gonna panic. It's normal, but we can just avoid these factors by choosing certain things to do. Wherever you're going, have offline maps downloaded on your phones. It's a very basic travel tip basically, but still make sure you know your route from the airport to your accommodation or your place of stay. If it's nearby, and if you're confident enough that you're gonna use the public transport, make sure you have your offline map downloaded, and make sure you somewhat memorize your way. For example, if your phone's not working, you have Wi-Fi issues, internet connectivity issues basically, and maybe if the like battery is dead, you know where you're going, and you can anyways ask people, but it's better to know things and be prepared. Another thing to keep in mind before you travel is sorting out your beddings, your kitchen appliances, etc, etc, depending on the type of accommodation you're going to move into. Now if you already have people living in the UK or where you're going to study in that city, then it's not going to be that much of a problem beforehand. But for me, when I came here, I had to directly come to the university accommodation, so I had to have my things sorted. Before coming here, what I did was I used this website called Uni Kit Out. It was personally very useful for me because A, it's impossible to carry all your utensils and beddings, right? B, you've just arrived, you're jet lagged, you're tired, you're confused, everything's new. It's just a lot to take in at first, and then on top of that you need to go and sort out your beddings, your utensils and all of that. It's gonna be a lot. So what I did was, before coming here, I used this website called Uni Kit Out, link in the description box below. So this platform has basically sets of for your kitchen, for your room, bedding, quilts, quilt cover, bed sheet, pillow cover, pillows, all of that. And I also got like a set of kitchen utensils, all the basic items you need. It has different prices. I'm not gonna call it like more expensive or cheap. It was alright because these things tend to go a long way. It's not like you need to keep on buying your stuff every 3 months, 4 months. I've had these things for the last 2 years and they've been going great. So I just ordered this and I entered my date when I would be arriving, and these things were delivered before I actually got here. That was really helpful. So you just need to come here and just be like, oh, just sort everything out, you know. And also before you travel, please let your university know, or your place of stay know, of your arrival beforehand. I know they have the booking, they have all details, but the times when you come, it gets really overwhelming for the institution as well. To avoid any confusion, just let them know beforehand. I did let my university know before I was coming here, but it was so chaotic. I cannot forget my first day. It was bad. It was so confusing for no reason, despite me letting them know. So just do that in advance. Silly tip, but please try to travel light. I literally overpack always. It's just so much, but I know it's like, it's not easy to pack everything in just 2 suitcases. You're gonna be gone for like 2 years, 1 year, however long that might be. You need everything. You're like, I need this, I need that. Please travel light. I've had bad experiences because I don't travel light, so I would suggest you to travel light, please. So now I'm going to talk about what to keep in mind when you're actually traveling. Keep your power bank. Make sure your hand luggage is not too heavy, and make sure you also read the guidelines on the airline's website, जिसमें लिखा होता है कि आप क्या कैरी कर सकते हैं और क्या नहीं कैरी कर सकते हैं in your hand luggage, just to avoid further delays at the security line. Also, try to sleep in your flight. I was very excited the first time I was here. I could not sleep the entire time. I ended up watching 3 movies back to back at the flight, but the jet lag, even if the time difference between India and the UK is not as much, I was jet lagged for a good 5-6 days. So just try to get some sleep in. Another point that I'd like to mention is always keep your documents handy, as in even in forms of PDF or the hard copy. Usually the documents include like your CAS letter, your offer letter, your passport. Your passport has your visa, so that's also sorted. Even if you show your like PDFs of your CAS and offer letter, sometimes they do accept it, but if they want like a physical copy, you can just like take out a file and just show them all the documents. Just have them all in one place and have them sorted. And the next thing is, be confident. Try not to be nervous, because if you're nervous, the immigration officer is going to sense it, so he or she would definitely end up asking you more questions, and after the tiring journey, you don't want to be grilled with so many questions. Okay, so now we're in the third and the final part of the video of all the points that I've written down and I could think of. What to do when you're in the country and how to make your experience more easy, seamless, and more just comfortable basically. Now, first and foremost, in terms of food, I order groceries through Uber Eats. It's just like Zomato and all of that, but it also has these retail stores on it. So in the UK, just like how we have Big Bazaar in India, we've got Sainsbury, Tesco, Asda, XYZ in the UK. They have their own websites, of course. They have their own apps as well, so you can directly order from there as well. But I know Uber Eats also gives discounts for your first few orders, so if you want to use that. I use Uber Eats because it's just more convenient. I order in a bulk most of the time, so it's just very much convenient for me. You can also use Deliveroo, and if I can find more apps, I'm gonna just like leave the stickers here and their names in the description box below. When you're traveling, so if you're based in London, आपको tube के बारे में तो पता ही होगा, it's like the metro in London, so they use Oyster Cards. You can get the physical card or you can get an app for it. यहाँ पे हर चीज़ का app है, same as in India. It's not that difficult. Just check in your app store or Google Play Store. Pretty easy. And again, some places do not use cash, they only accept card, and there are also some places that only accept cash, don't accept card. So make sure you check beforehand and have both things handy so that you're not in a mess later on. And if you're traveling frequently, like if you know you're going to be traveling frequently, like every day, if you're not living on campus and stuff like that, it is advisable to get like a travel pass because it's more cost effective. It's not going to add up to so much. I don't know the costs exactly because I don't have the need to travel every day. I'm based on campus, so it's very much convenient. Everything's walking distance. There are different types of travel passes, so if you want like an annual travel pass, just buy it. That's all I can say. And with regards to the tickets, it's also advisable to get like return tickets rather than one-side ticket. Return basically means आप किसी जगह जाते हो और वहाँ से वापस आते हो. So it's better to get like return tickets and buy your return tickets on off-peak times. These are all mentioned in the application. So I use Trainline to book my tickets for wherever I need to travel. If you're in London, Oyster Card, the tube is so convenient. It can be a bit confusing. So make sure you know where you're going and have like a screenshot or download where you want to go so you know the path, which station to get off at. Tube station mein, if it's underground, you don't get network, wahan pe internet nahi chalta hai, so make sure you know your path and you're just not lost like how I usually get. Once you're on campus, make sure you get your student ID as soon as possible. Like get your student ID card from the university as soon as possible. Get your BRP. It's a very important document to keep that very safe. It's as important as your passport. These two things are very important. Also, after all this, you need to make sure you open your bank account. It's very important. You just need to apply online. You just need to select your bank on NatWest, HSBC, Lloyds. I can name so many, but I'm gonna leave their names here and also in the description box below so that you know what all banks are here. Make sure you go through all their websites and check what kind of an account you want. Once I say आपको ज़्यादा लग रहा है, because I know international students don't really get overdraft and stuff like that. Interest rates वगैरह जो भी है सब compare करके सब banks का. Just check it online and then you can apply online. You need a status letter from your university, but if you email them, they're very prompt with it. They're gonna respond. आपको सब मिल जाएगा and just apply your bank account because that can also take a while depending on when you're coming and which bank you are. Because personally, when I first applied, I applied to Barclays. It was not a good experience. They took like 1 month to respond and then they said that we haven't received your application. I had everything and they just said my application details were not on their database for some reason, and then I went to HSBC. That took another 20 days to basically open my account. So mera account basically almost after 2 months khula tha after coming to the UK, but my cards were working. I had cash, so I was fine with it. If you're also planning on working or getting a part-time job as an international student, make sure you also get your national insurance number. Again, if you go to the government of UK website, gov.uk, and they have sections and you can just go in and select national insurance, and they have steps for you to apply for your national insurance number. It's an important thing and a requirement for you to be able to work in the UK. Also, your insurance number and your details, everything, keep that in handy as well. Keep that somewhere where you know, yeah, it's easily accessible. Uska PDF folder bhi bana lo, uska email mein डालो, and share that email with maybe your mom or dad or someone you know that if in case of any trouble or something, that person can access those documents. So do that as well. Also, for students, once you get your ID, if you want to shop in the UK, you have these apps like I use Uni Days and Student Beans. Usme na aapko based on your ID you get like codes that you can use on the app and get discounts on whatever purchase you're making. For example, if I want to shop at maybe H&M, and if I go to Uni Days or Student Beans, if I type in H&M, it's gonna generate a code for me and then I can use that on the H&M website. Basically definitely get a discount on my shopping. So make sure you check those out as well and just download the apps. It's very handy. और यहाँ पे कहीं भी restaurants वगैरह पे भी जाते हो, usually student discounts होता है, so your student ID is also very helpful even when you're traveling. If you show them that you're a student, you also get like cheaper tickets. But yeah, these are all the things that I could think of. I know it's like a lot and बहुत ज़्यादा hodgepodge हो गया है. Everything's just like mixed up. This is all that I could think of, and I hope these were helpful in any way. I literally tried to make it as easily as possible, but I don't know how the edit's gonna turn out. If you found this video helpful, or if you feel like I've missed out on a certain aspect, please let me know. I would be more than happy to make a second part for this video, because I know being international and when there's basically nothing, it's very confusing. So yeah, just let me know if you need a part 2 for this video, and if you want me to mention specific points. And I will see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye.